Good win for the Padres against a really good Chicago Cubs team. So feel really good about the end result for us.
Can you take us through the fair foul ball? What you
Yeah.
saw?
I mean, yeah, from the dugout, really far away. You know, we trust that our players are, watching the ball. Ty's picking it up, at the right time. We thought it was still moving. It was probably getting to the last revolution. And then obviously we saw the replay on the scoreboard, and in that angle made it look like it was a foul ball. But according to the umpire, his angle was obviously probably better. He thought it was a fair ball.
So when you went out and talked, he maintained it was correct.
Fair ball, yeah. And he asked the third base umpire, and he said the same thing. It wasn't much of a conversation between the two. They both thought it was fair.
How did you not get? I mean, some managers, maybe most, would have gotten tossed.
Yeah, I think in that situation, I'm thinking about my closer on the mound, and you can talk about all the things. I don't know if the scoreless streak went through my head at that point, but it was about what puts him in the best situation to finish the game properly, without me calling a timeout on him and stalling him. That was my main concern. I thought if I went crazy and wild, that wasn't going to help us win the game.
How is Manny?
Oh, he's fine. Manny will be. We took him out as precaution. Looked like he was just going down the line a little slow, came out of the box a little awkwardly. He had a couple slides at second that, didn't feel great on his lower half. And so, we'll talk to him tomorrow, see how he's feeling, and then, kind of evaluate him going forward.
We can get to the triple later, but, Ty France had quite a night. Both, first, third, offensively. His contributions just keep coming. What do you say about Ty?
Yeah, I think, if he had a stolen base and a triple and Ty Francis box score tonight on your bingo card, he probably would have won. That was, he had a great game tonight. Started off with a big double in the gap. And then, we trust him playing first base quite a bit. He's a Gold Glover over there, and he was able to fill in at third for Manny today. Made a couple nice plays. So all around great game for Ty. He's been a huge asset for us coming off the bench and in spot starting this year. It's a big part of our team right now.
How much a part of how you feel about this game? I know any win's a win, but just contributions from everywhere, which also is. We've talked a lot about maybe some guys not coming through, but you've had contributions from everywhere. How big is that? Yeah,
Nick Castellanos, one of the biggest hits of the night, to give us the lead there. Really been kind of scuffling at the plate. He's adjusting to being a bench player right now, accustomed to playing every single day, getting 500 at-bats. So, something that he's getting used to and fighting through and really working hard to be good at. So it was just really nice to see him come through in that moment with a big at-bat and a big hit.
Seems like a long time ago, but just Randy to be able to, he starts with 92 pitches in the fifth. To be able to get through that, how big?
Yeah, Randy was awesome. We tried to see how he was feeling after that fourth inning. We felt good with him getting another inning, and he was excited about it. He was like, yes, give me the ball. And so when a pitcher, is that convicted in it, and that feels good, you feel comfortable with him going out for the fifth, and he pitched a great fifth inning, probably his best of the day. And I think it's a testament to what we've been talking about the whole time whenever you guys ask me about Randy is, it goes back to the off-season work and the work that he put in that prepared him for this season in a way that was more than a lot of other people would put into it. And so in a game like that, when you've given up a lot of runs and you're a little tired, you're at 92 pitches after 4 innings, you're working your tail off just to survive, and to be able to go out in the fifth and go through, that part of the lineup was pretty impressive.
You guys have done something this year, answer back innings, and even tonight. I just wonder, is that a big deal? You only got one after they got 4, but to score after that.
Yeah, that's huge. It just kind of stops their momentum a little bit and gives us a little taste of it. On our pitching side, we talk about shutdown innings. A shutdown inning is shutting it down after we score some runs. And so tonight was kind of, they kind of, back and forth on that kind of stuff with the scoring. But Randy had a couple, that fifth inning, I was like, buddy, you got to hold it and get your win, and he held it right there. And then it wasn't a typical shutdown inning, but that was a big shutdown inning. And then after that, the bullpen kind of did their thing.
Obviously, hate to see it end, but just take us through how impressive it was to watch Mason, maintain this streak he had for so long.
Yeah, amazing opportunity for me to watch him go in every single night and dominate the way he has. And tonight, a few things had to go a little crazy for him to give up a run. And, he was still able to keep his composure, even with base loaded, nobody out, and get out of that and get us a win. And in the end, his job is to finish the game with us in the win column, and he did that again tonight.
How much of it is a testament to, you have a guy who you can turn to and is always more likely than not going to be dominant, going to, you know, put up zeros. But even when he has an off night, to bounce back the way he did, you know, just given the chaotic nature of that inning, how nice is it to have that?
Yeah, it's definitely comforting, you know, when you got a guy like that at the end of the game. You know, he's the best in the world right now, and you'd rather take the best in the world than the second best in the world. And so, you know, Mason's doing his thing out there. We're trying to, you know, protect his workload as much as we can, but we feel really comfortable with putting him in the game.